So do you want to know how I made these time lapses with the Canon M50? Well then, sit back, relax, enjoy your favorite drink, because in this video I will cover everything you need to know about time lapses with the Canon M50. Let's go! First of all, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, my name is Thomas. I talk about cameras, video, photo, street photography, gear, cameras, lenses. So if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe. There's a lot of videos coming in, and right now we are going to dive straight into the subject, which is time lapses. The Canon M50 doesn't have an intervalometer, and if you don't know what it is, it looks like this. It's a remote controller that you can connect to a camera. Unfortunately, there is no way to connect a remote controller to the Canon M50, but there are still 3 ways to capture a time-lapse with this camera. There is the ugly way, the lazy way, and the good way. The ugly way is to use the built-in time-lapse movie mode, and therefore you need to put your camera into movie and then go to your menus, and at the bottom of the first page you have time-lapse movie. Once you enter the time-lapse movie mode, you can select one of the 3 built-in presets or make your custom one. And in the custom one you can select the number of shots and the interval. Once you've set it up, press the shutter button and it will record your time-lapse. The issue with that option is that it's going to capture a number of shots and then compress it into a movie. But what you like in a time-lapse is that delicious motion blur. That's what is really eye-catching. Unfortunately, to achieve that, you need to have a low shutter speed. And the built-in time-lapse movie mode only allows you to go at the lowest 1/30 of a second, which will never give you enough motion blur to make a proper time-lapse. The other issue is that it's going to keep your picture profile, so you don't have a lot of control over how your image will look, and your final result will be a 1080p or 4K video file. So if you don't want to mess around with time lapses and settings and you just want to capture something really quick, well, the built-in time-lapse mode is maybe made for you. If you want to go one step further, you can use the lazy way. And for the lazy way, we are going to stay into video mode, but instead of applying the golden rule for your shutter speed, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, there's a video right above here where I explain every basic of video. Well, we are going to lower our shutter speed to create motion blur. We're going to lower our shutter speed to 1/8 of a second. It's gonna bring a lot of light into your camera, so you have to close your aperture, and therefore we are closing our aperture to f11 or above till f22. The kit lens goes to f22, so that's already a good thing. And if your lens doesn't allow you to go that high, you will need an ND filter, and then we press record. The result is a very weird video that you are going to import into your editing software and speed up at 300% to have 24 frames a second. Is it good? Well, it's still better than the built-in time-lapse mode. And if you just want a little time-lapse to put in your vlogs, well, yeah, it's just okay. But again, it's gonna take your picture profile, you don't have a lot of control over your colors, and it's still 1080p or 4K video with the limitation of the camera. What if you want a time-lapse made out of photos that you can capture in RAW and import into Lightroom and really grade the way you want, with the highest resolution possible, which is 6000 by 4000, which is almost 6K, and if full control, you have a time lapse that you can even zoom in. Well, all you need is this, your phone. You need a phone, and on your phone you need an app, and that app, my friends, is Cascable. And I'm not sponsored in any way. I paid my subscription, my lifetime subscription, which is around 30 bucks, which is actually the price of a intervalometer. And I'm not sponsored in any way by Cascable. They don't even know I'm making this video. So guys from Cascable, if you are here, thank you for making this app. Officially, it's an iPhone app, but there is an Android version. I will link both in the description. So if you have an Android phone and you try it, make sure to give me some feedback in the comments. I would be very interested by that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is press this little button here on the side of the camera, which enables the Wi-Fi connection. And then I'm gonna launch Cascable. I tap on remote on the top and it's recognizing my camera. I'm gonna connect to make the connection. And as you can see, this is the live view. I'm moving my hand and you can see that it's me. At the bottom, you can control manually your camera, but we are going to go at the last one, the last option. Here, you tap on it, and there you have the shutter robot. So you can choose the module. You can do a self timer, bulb timer, an intervalometer, exposure bracketing, and recipes. And I'm selecting intervalometer. I go back to the robot. I can select the interval. I'm gonna select a 1 second interval. Then it's gonna stop. I can select to stop it manually after a number of shots or after an amount of time. I always do an amount of time, around 8 minutes. It's around 480 shots, which results into 15-second time lapses, which is good for social media or in a video. So I select 8 minutes, robot. There is a summary. It shows the number of shots and then simply engage, and then you can click on done. And now if you press and hold and then swipe, it's gonna take the images. And as you can see, it blips every time there is a shot made. And this is capturing raw images directly to your camera SD card that you can then import into Lightroom. Once you are done shooting your time lapse, you simply put your little card into your laptop, you open Lightroom, click the import button, and then you import all the raw files. What you actually do is you edit the first picture of your time lapse, you do your little adjustments and your little edit, and then you select all the other files and you click on the sync button. It will automatically apply that edit on all those images. Then you select all your images and you export them and you import them into After Effects. So now I'm in After Effects. I'm gonna create a new composition. It's 1080p, 1920 by 1080, 24 frames a second, and it's a duration of 20 seconds. I click OK. Then in this column, I'm gonna make a import. You can go to Files, Import, File. I'm going into my time-lapse folder and I select the first JPEG that I exported from Lightroom. I make sure that this box is checked, import JPEG sequence, and force alphabetical order. So I'm pretty sure that all the files will be in the right order. I click open and it creates automatically a new composition for my time lapse. And if I press play, you can see that the time lapse here, it's a little bit slow because it's not rendered. But if I play now, you have your time lapse that is fully usable once it's rendered. So now all that is left to do is simply go to File and Export through the Media Encoder or the Render Queue, and so you have your time-lapse ready to be used in your editing software. I'll show you now a comparison between the three kind of time-lapses, and you can choose which one looks the best. Tell me in the comments which method you think you are going to use. If you want to know more about time-lapses, make sure to check out Matjo's channel. His name is Mathieu van de Putte. He's a Belgian time-lapser living in London, and his content is mind-blowing. There are tons of videos about time-lapse, and you can learn way more than what I covered today. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, again, welcome, and make sure to subscribe. And until next time, like they say in Belgium, à plus dans le bus.